Before we begin, thank you very much to Tora Killed Bobby. He had a wife and kids, you bet, for joining the Patreon campaign. This is a reference to the Scheduled Conflicts D&D game that we stream every Thursday on Gobble Goblin's YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for enjoying an embarrassing Nat 1 from my wizard. The Dice Gods wanted content that night, and oh, it got it. But thank you very much for the support. Always, always appreciated. Thank you, everyone, for keeping the channel going and keeping it alive. And yeah, the Patreon genuinely helps do it all. So, we have a news roundup to get to today. I will admit, today's news roundup is pretty thin. There's not a whole lot of official stuff coming out. I think everything's just kind of waiting for Studio Series big, like, reveals in October that Hasbro promised. But whatever is going on, we're kind of at a little bit of a drought. So most of this stuff is coming from Hasbro's partners. Also, I will say before this thing starts up again, I am currently 3D printing stuff for TFcon. So I apologize for any background noise, because some people say this doesn't pick up on the mic, and some people say, yeah, I can hear it rumbling in the back. If you hear it rumbling, I apologize. We will soldier on, though, because News Roundup has to happen. And the first one for News Roundup, Studio Series leader Bumblebee movie Megatron, maybe. So, this image popped up recently, and it seems to correspond with the design that we see on the packaging. But this is the only image we have to go on. They didn't zoom out. They did not have a transformation, like a vehicle mode. It's just this upper body. Now, we take this with a grain of salt. Because the leaker did not show more of this piece, we don't know how genuine this particular object is. Also, this photo is either really grainy, or there is trace elements of maybe potential 3D print lines on it. Or it could just be a potato quality photo. That's also very possible. Either way, until we see more of this, take it for a grain of salt right now. Now, we've had listings for this, so we kind of knew that this was coming, and it was, like, confusing, because Bumblebee movie didn't have Megatron in it. But there is a design that exists for it. And it kind of takes me back to, like, Star Wars doing concept series toys of, like, Chewbacca, Stormtrooper, Star Killer, before Luke Skywalker was a thing. So, it's a maybe. It's a maybe. But yeah, just don't buy into it too yet. By the way, if you're a leaker and you've got early photos of this stuff, don't start doing teasing things for clout. Don't drop it down a piece at a time. Just show us what you've got. It's just, you've already shown it, right? Don't masquerade this as some like big reveal event. I don't know. Leaker clout's weird. But whatever. We might have this Megatron visible and, coming shortly. Who knows? Let's see what else we got on the news. So, for Legacy United, another behind-the-scenes post got done. This one for Windblade. The post itself doesn't really describe a whole lot outside of the usual stuff, like identifying who at Takara worked on the engineering of the toy, which is always great. And they focused a lot on the face deco and getting that right, etc. But really, it's just kind of like fluff of describing what this one is. The real thing here is just getting to see it in hand in action poses. And yeah, like, she looks really, really good. Probably the best we've seen out of a Windblade toy. No scrawny feet. She's going to have no problem standing up, right? She's got, like, her fan can be removed and used as an accessory as well. That's a little thing that can be done. You can see the VTOLs are mushroom pegged in so they can rotate. Yep, and they actually carry blast effects. So that will actually potentially do some pretty cool things with poses. Why knockout? Why'd you behead knockout? Yeah, things like that. And then in conjunction with the fact that she has a contrail with her blade, that's actually pretty cool. Also, I am noticing a pose. She feels like she's very Titan's Return in how she transforms, looking at it from this angle. She doesn't seem to have the giant gap that is present in a lot of Windblades with thin legs, so that's handy. I like seeing that. So yeah, it's looking good and it's looking interesting. We're gonna have another Windblade after so many years of like completely vanished. what else is going on in the world of Transformers? Okay, so Walmart's doing Collecticon on 10/23. And for that, we have the 3 announced exclusives are going to be the retro G1 repaints that we have been showing off here on News Roundup. So no real surprises. Nothing like if you're not into the G1 reissues, cartoon accurate paint job or otherwise, then you're going to be disappointed. So this is going to be for a very select group of collectors this time. But you know the date it's going to drop. It's going to drop at 10 a.m. Eastern, so wake up early if you actually want to get your hands on these. Expect the sound wave to go first. If you really want that sound wave, don't sit on it. Wake up early and get your pre-order in. I'll tell you, it's the only one I'm really interested in out of the 3. So there is that. So, because we're at a lack of news, I thought we'll do a little bit of news that's relevant to me, because I will be at TFcon this weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. Remember, if you're going to be there on Friday and you got nothing better to do, waiting for your tickets to open up and pick up your passes, etc., then please come take a drive about 30 minutes up the road to Acme Superstore. At 2 p.m., I'm going to walk into that store, and whoever is with me at the time, come join me. I think it would be fun to raid an entire toy store as one group. So I don't know how many are going to show up to that. I hope some. So if you're going to TFcon, or if you're just in the Orlando area and you want to help us raid the store, then by all means, come by and get ready to walk in at 2. But we do have the exclusives for the con announced. So the first one, and the exciting one, the really exciting one, I think, we have Make Toys Seeker mold redone as Slipswarm, or I guess a G1 take on Slipstream. It is the thrust mold with a brand new head. Looks a little bit more feminine than your standard Seeker head. So nice. I'm looking forward to it. This actually looks really cool to me. I'll be honest. Way better. Like the last time they tried to do TFcon Orlando, the exclusive was going to be the prototype color RC, like the salmon pink and orange, and I wasn't too happy with that. I'm much happier with this. It's going to be $160 at the con. Only 300 of them are being made, so this is going to be a choice piece for Seeker collectors. And then we have this boy. This is Marksman. Which is based on the Predator Talon from the Euro G1 line. I believe using the third-party Darkwind mold that Fans Hobby made. It's got some of the same features to it. There is a minifigure attached to it. I don't know if it's a Power Master, or I don't know if it has a functionality, but they did show a minifigure attached to it. Yeah, it's actually really neat. This one I'm like 50-50 on. I think it depends, because I added a trip to Disney World the last minute. It depends on how expensive Disney gets. So I'm definitely getting her. Might not get Marksman, though. I do have the third-party boss they did on the other coast, so it would be good to have a versus pair to display. So that's kind of swaying me at the moment. It looks cool though. I like the Euro G1 homages as exclusives. That's kind of appropriate, and it's probably the only place it would work, is as con exclusives. Super 7 has a new reveal for us. It's the standard Optimus Prime mold that they've done several times already, except now it's an all-clear version. Not the most exciting release, I'm not going to lie. But hey, it's going to be out there if you want a translucent Ghost Optimus Prime for some reason. By the way, if you do like the look of this figure, and you like the whole super cyborg vibe, I do have the full color one available on my eBay page right now. Thank you everyone who did grab something off the eBay page. It's going to be an expensive weekend coming up, so I do appreciate all of the help that has come in there. So, but no, if you just want to add a translucent Optimus Prime to go with your Shattered Glass Optimus Prime and your Nemesis Optimus Prime and your Dead Optimus Prime, whatever other Optimus Primes they come up with, it's going to be available. It's going to be a thing you'll be able to buy. Available at Super 7 booth at New York Comic Con. Is this $85? So, is this a Comic Con exclusive, or is it just there first? I don't think it says. yeah, I don't think it says if it's Comic-Con exclusive or if it's just going to be there. Oh, either way, it exists. If you want something more expensive in your realm of Transformers, we have Robosen showing off their stuff at New York Comic Con, with including this lucky draw version of their Optimus Prime. So if you ever wanted to have the vibe of a super rare Japanese collectible, that is possible now, though their version is a giveaway prize, so good luck getting it. Showed off the Grimlock, showed off their Buzz Lightyear, which has the creepy live action head. I'm not a fan of that. I'm really not a fan of that. The only real big news out of this is that their Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime was shown in full detail and fully painted. So this is our first look at the production version of it. It does look pretty impressive. If this thing can walk and move on its own, then it is absolutely going to be a pretty spectacular piece for the collector who digs this vibe. I will tell you, if you want to look at an even higher quality and more premium Optimus Prime, stay tuned to this channel. Our friends at YOLO Park have hooked us up once again. Oh, we're going to show off something cool this week. Just wait it out. It's going to take a lot of work to get the video out, but it will be out. But no, like, if you want the fully walking one, this is actually pretty impressive. You can see the corrosion, you can see the shading detail done, a little bit of panel work. Yeah, it's actually really, really well done. So, let's see, what else do we have for the news? So we're going to get into some more high-end stuff. XM Studios has shown off 2 of their new statues. We saw these at a convention. But these now have full official photo shoots, starting with Prowl and his iconic riot shield and baton. Okay. Fortunately, these are optional pieces. He does come with his gun. He comes with shoulder cannons that you can attach on. So he does have options. We're in that world where a statue actually has interchangeable pieces. So that's cool. I love that these actually come with like a little toy car of the vehicle mode. That's such a neat little inclusion to kind of get that vehicle in there somehow. It's not a bad piece. It's a really cool looking Prowl. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a super cool looking Prowl. The kind of thing that's always out of my budget, and I'd just rather a super big transforming figure. See, look at that. It's like you get a little, you get like collectible die-cast car with it or something. I don't know if it's die-cast or not. I also like how they just have like just a random intern standing here to show size scale. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. Do we have a price on it by chance? Converted to US dollars, $1,166. That's expensive. That's expensive statue. It's a cool looking statue, but that's expensive. They're also doing one for RC, who apparently wasn't worthy of an intern. They just sat a coffee mug next to her and wished her luck. She runs pretty much the same way as Prowl. She is a take on the G1 version of the character. She has a lot of interchangeable parts, so you can change the expression and pose. Nice little touches like that are always cool in these new modern statues. She's standing on a Unicron-based base, which is interesting because she never... No, she stepped foot inside Unicron. Okay, you know what? I'll give her credit. I'll give it to her. Yeah, and then heavily designed, heavily sculpted and detailed. You know, you got a lot of what looks like interlocking panels to her. I am happy they didn't really cheesecake her. She does not have, like, individual boobs, and she does not have a thong. So, good on you. She's just RC, heavily detailed. Looking good. So, again, for you high-end collectors who like your statues, these are actually really nice options. Expensive options, but definitely nice show-off pieces. Skybound has announced the new cover for Void Rivals issue 5, and it's the Quintessons! I love this stuff. I love Quintessons. Again, kind of underused. I like their arc in Cyberverse, but since then we really have not gotten a good run with Quintessons, so I'm happy to see these back. This is the kind of thing that would actually get me interested in Void Rivals, which is still like their weird pilot series for Transformer elements in their new universe. It's kind of odd. But hey, Quintessons are back. Always like to see some Quintessons, and we don't see them in the comics very often. You know, it's actually really rare to see them in the comics, which is interesting. So I'm glad they're introducing them. I'm eager to see what they do with them. Another New York Comic Con exclusive for you Funko Pop collectors out there. There is another Freddy Funko, was essentially a cosplay piece with him dressed as G1 Soundwave. They do this a lot at New York Comic Con, I think it's San Diego Comic Con as well, where they'll just take an existing mold and they will stick Freddy Funko's head onto it. And it's just him dressed as different characters. So, like, this is part of their Heavy Metal Halloween run. There's only 4,000 of these. But here you see the whole run. You know, so, okay, so there's one, you know, there's a Casey Jones one. There's a zombie, an atomic, bones, other bones. It's blacklight bones. Another different atomic. So, and then, as Mysterio. That's a weird choice. Okay. So they just kind of do these things every year. No real surprise. And Soundwave doesn't even seem to be one of the more limited ones. It seems like they go down to like as low as 2,000 of them. 1,000. 1,000 for the black light. Okay. But no, Funko collectors have one more Transformer thing to find. I'm weaning away from them myself. I know a lot of people are. So it's just kind of a thing to mention because we're thin on news this week. More interesting to me. Takara is doing a collaboration with a company called Case Play to do phone cases based on Transformers. And there's a bunch of different designs for it. You know, classic G1 packaging art. That's Soundwave. That's cool. Again, more retro classic art. We got some more modern stuff here. Simple logos, you know, faction symbols. You can't be a Decepticon, apparently, in any of the designs. That's a little bit weird. Phones are not allowed to be evil in Japan. That's actually just how they regulate them. So the cool thing about this is that, yeah, there's 10 different designs to pick from. But the cool thing about this is that they are making them for over 100 different phone models. And I looked it up. That includes my model of phone. So now I'm just like, who do I know in Japan? What friends do I have in Japan who could order one of these and mule it for me? Because, oh my god, my phone case is actually breaking right now, and I was about to get one before the trip, but I never got around to it. I would love this Soundwave one. I want this Soundwave one so bad. I need to see who can hook me up. I need a mule for this. Alright, so that's a minor note, but they're cool cases. I like them. And to finish it off, if you've ever wanted to eat the head of Optimus Prime, Funnables is going to give you the option. Funnables is doing a thing with Transformers Earthspark. So, you know, typical little kid snack crossover thing. They're on the packaging. It's the shape of the gummies. The shapes are incredibly vague. We have what I believe is an Autobot and Decepticon symbol. We have what I believe is Megatron, Optimus, and Bumblebee. Maybe it's they're weird. They're like super smashed. Maybe there's a Starscream in there too. It's super smashed. I can't tell who they're supposed to be. But I don't know. It's a little bit of weirdness for Transformers, and it's a good way to wrap up this news roundup. We made it under 20 minutes. Even with a slow news day, I managed to stretch this out for content. So, thank you everyone for watching. Again, if you're going to TFcon, I hope to see you there. If not, I'm going to have a bunch of pre-recorded videos up and ready to go for your amusement and enjoyment while I'm away. So, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time.
We parlay with the captain.
You think a werecroc is going to listen to elvish rules of piracy?
Of course it would be the freaking elves that invented parlay.
I had to think of a quick replacement for the French.